Okay, good. The stream should be started now. So, Devo, it's time to watch your Viktor versus Cass game. So, um, quite a lot of things in this one too. This game ended up being a pretty bad loss. We're just gonna fast through this early stuff. So, first things first. This really is irrelevant, but here's where you are. Mid lane, usually just try to go here. You get there before the enemy team can. You know, if you really are skittish, you can drop a ward here, but you always kind of want to sit in this brush. So you see how I'm watching the red. You know, your job is to watch this entryway, just so hey, these guys don't get cheesed. You know, they could very easily get cheesed. So that's like your job right now. So you're just chilling out though. So this matchup's hard, but it's not impossible. The way you kind of played it, though, made it pretty difficult because you missed a lot of opportunities. So, um, obviously, starting Q is a good thing. The cleanse is good because she can't really all in you at level 6 unless she has a huge lead, which she gets this game. So, anyway, we're going to watch your early laning phase. So, real early on, it's really not too bad. You don't do too bad of a job. You start Q, which is smart. She starts Q. So here's something right off the bat. So level 1, you have Q. Q gives you a shield. Shields are nice. She starts Q, which is actually kind of weird. Most Cassiopeias start E, so they can like last hit because then they don't use any mana because they get refunded the mana when they last hit. Like they get a portion back. So she starts Q, which is a little weird, but right now you're in range to Q her. She Qs you. Let's see what you do. So you walk away. So you had a chance to Q her there, which means you would have traded with her. And if you look at your Q damage, just real quick, we'll look at this. It does 74 damage. Then the next auto, which is pretty much instantaneous, would have given you 37 damage on top of your auto, which is 54 damage. It's quite a lot of damage. Then it also would have procced Thunderlords. So you lost this trade. Like, you lost 100 health from this trade. Your shield would have blocked about 30 damage of that um, after, like, mitigation and whatnot. But you would have traded back and probably done at least 100, or if not more damage to her in the process. But instead, you walked up to her and didn't Q her. Not really sure why, but it would have helped you in that trade. So then you last hit with Q. It's whatever. You would have missed those last hits if you didn't. You get hit by another Q. Playing really far back, so when she Qs you like that, you should really be walking up to trade with her because she's not level 2 yet. When she gets level 2, it's a little bit scarier. So, but right now you're just kind of last hitting. That's fine. You haven't Q'd her yet, so you took Q to trade level 1, and you never Q'd her. Took Q because you win trades level 1, and then you never Q her. So I actually don't like that you eat this wave, because you just used your ability to hit creeps, which means if she lands a Q on you right now, she can just train you down with ease, and outside of your Q, since your E's on cooldown for 11 seconds still, you can't actually trade back. So luckily she misses the Q, so that's pretty good for you. She misses that last hit. You're not doing bad right now. You missed a bunch of opportunities within the first 2 levels to trade with her, but you're not doing too bad. So right now you're not autoing, you're just walking. Early game you don't want to waste abilities like this. You don't gain anything from throwing the C out. You're just wasting mana, and now she knows you're down a cooldown, so she can start playing up more. So you don't want to waste early game, mid lane. You have to really be aware of your mana management, and so you don't want to just waste it. Like, she's doing this because she has the last hit, but your E wasn't even a last hit. It just kind of like arbitrarily pushed the wave, which is not good. But she's missing a lot. So you have this side warded. So now this is, I'm gonna explain this because this becomes pretty pivotal soon. So I'm gonna explain this now. When you have vision on one side of the jungle, you see your junglers over here. You have a ward here. This is essentially as if you were playing top lane. This is your wall. You know you can't get ganked from this wall because there's You know, there's no pathway there. Like, the jungler can't come out from off the rift. So this is essentially your top lane wall right now. You have vision here. You know your jungler's there. So this side is safe. So that means until this ward dies, or until your jungler's over here and you get vision on this side, this is your safe space. This whole left side is where you want to linger the entire laning phase until that ward dies. That's your. So when you get to a point where you're like halfway up this wave here, you want to be on the left side. So right now you're playing real passive. You've yet to Q her still. You've yet to hit her with your Q and try to trade with her that way. You're not getting ganked right now, luckily, because the jungler's over here, but you don't know that. But you're playing near the side where you have no vision. If this is your wall in top lane, if this is your wall, would you be on this side of the lane, like closest to all this? Like, would you be closest to where you don't have vision when you know you can't get ganked from one side? So mid lane, it's the same thing. You control one side, you know there's stuff happening top, and you have vision here. So that's the side you're going to lean towards. But as you see, you're positioning way over to the right. Rengar could actually jump from the brush there. Like, right around here is where he could jump from that brush. And you have no vision in it. So you get hit by a Q. Right there, she could have just obliterated you. And the best way to trade with Cass is if she Qs you and she starts trying to E you. Hopefully you haven't wasted your E like you've been doing on the minion wave. What you do is you just E towards her as you run away. You Q her, and then you E towards her as you run away, because then she's going to take the full E damage, and you're going to have a shield to mitigate some of her damage. So, but you're kind of wasting some of your ability. You still haven't Q'd her. We're level 4, and you haven't used your Q on her at all. And she's almost out of mana. So this is like your time to be aggressive. So let's go back 15 seconds. Your jungler's here. This is your wall. Look where you're standing in this lane. We're going to ignore for a second the fact that you have 2 health pots that you haven't used all lane. So here you are. You're at 40% health. Your top side is your safe zone. And you're like towards the right middle of the lane. You haven't used pots, which I have no idea why you haven't used pots yet. I'm actually confused. But look where you're standing. You know the jungler cannot be coming from over here. You have all the vision over there. This ward just died, but you knew there was no trouble. You see where your jungler is. But look where you're positioned in the lane. You're completely giving up like a safe position. So you go over here, you know, and now you're going to do this. Look where you're walking right now. This ward just died 10 seconds ago. Safest spot to be. The best thing for you to do right now is just to reward that and continue playing on this side of the lane, especially since your jungler's right here. So, 1, you should be using your pots, but 2, you should lean towards the side where your jungler is. If you had this warded and you were playing over here, and this Rengar, 1, he probably wouldn't even go for this gank. 2, if he did go for this gank and you were near this brush that they don't have vision of, you could actually bait them into running into you and Yi, and you could win a 2v2 possibly, or get summoners out of it. Who knows? Yi still has red buff, so you actually probably would win this 2v2. But look where you're positioned in the lane. You're like on the perfect side where you have no vision, and you have no idea. You haven't had vision of this side of the map the entire game, so you have no idea what's going on over there. And there you get ganked. You're super lucky this guy misses the bolo, because you should have died right there. But instead, you force him to flash. That sucks. So that's very unfortunate. We're going to fast forward now. We're going to fast forward this. So you get back to lane. You know she has a level advantage, and you know she backed. You know she backed because she wants to get her tier. So when you get back to this lane, as a mid laner, it's different than top. Top, you want to freeze maybe, you know, last hit a bit. You should push this. As soon as you get back to lane, push this. Because she's going to come back to lane with a level advantage. So if you gingerly sit here and last hit, and then she gets back to lane and just starts last hitting, she'll be 6 before you. So this, what you're doing right now, like just waiting for last hits, push. Be autoing this. Push this out, so then you can get wards out before she comes back to lane. But now you have no vision. So we're gonna look at it from your vision right now. You have no vision at all. You have no idea what's going on of anywhere. You see one ward top. That's your only vision of the entire map. But you could have pushed this, gotten vision out before she even got back to lane. But now she has all the pressure in the lane. She's stronger than you. You're down a flash. She has both of her sums, and she's gonna have a level advantage. So you're kind of screwed right now. So she goes for this trade here. You wasted your E already. It's just about to come up. You should Q her, walk away, so you get some of this, mitigate some of this damage. It would mitigate at least 50 of it, which is better than nothing. And then you go ahead and you E her as you're walking away. But she gets a free trade on you, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. She could kill you right now. 100% if this Cassiopeia was a good player, she would have known she was gonna hit level 6. She would have leveled up her ult, and she would have ult flashed you right in the face, and you would have died 100%. Without a doubt, you would have died right there. You're still holding on to a pot. You know, you're using a pot now, but soon you're going to be in a really bad spot where you go a really long time without using a pot again. That was as much as I think that's a good E, that was the most dangerous E you possibly could have done, because she could have honestly just ult flashed you directly in the face as you're walking up for that and kill you. So now you're in a position, since you don't have flash, you can't anymore. And you're going to do it again where you walk up to E it, and instead of just trying to hit these minions that are about to die, you step up and you put your E here and you try to get the whole wave, which is so greedy with how much stronger she is in this lane right now. So you should be dead. Once again, this Cassiopeia should kill you right here, because you're E'ing here to get this whole wave. You should be standing back here, E'ing here, just to hit these melees. You should not be standing this far up. So luckily for you, you don't die there, which I'm telling you right now, she could have killed you 1v1 3 times already in the last minute, just because of where you're putting yourself. And I'm not really sure why she didn't. I mean, she wasn't the best player. She was okay. She's eventually going to ult flash you. And she could actually killed you there too. I'm not really sure why she sees where our jungler is and she knows where our bot is, so it's kind of weird that she's being so trigger shy. But yeah, you can't walk up to these waves anymore. So you have a ward there. That's cool. So that's your side to gravitate towards now. You should never be on this left side of the lane, and you should never be anywhere near her. So when you know she has both of her summoners, she's way stronger than you. Wait, actually, let's go back 15 seconds. You're at half health. You're not using your pot. You're below half health. You have not used your pot. You're still not using your pot. You're pretty much saying to her, hey, you're either saying to her, hey, I have my jungler here and he's going to help me, or you're saying, please ult flash me in the face and end my life because I don't want to live anymore. And that's exactly what she does, because you've been sitting in lane with 40% health the entire laning phase. You know, there's no reason for her to not do that. So she does it finally. She could have done this for 2 minutes, whether you realize it or not, just because of the way you were playing. I still haven't seen you Q her. We're 7 minutes in. I haven't seen you hit her with a Q this entire game. Even when you could trade with her, you never used it. But anyway, so she ult flashes you. At least she doesn't have her ult anymore, so that's one positive. So we're gonna watch what happens next. So you're still not that far behind. You can't fight your lane anymore. Your lane's essentially over. And I think at this point of the game right here, you have 2 options. Greed out, don't buy another Doran's Ring, and just greed out your first upgrade so you can E these waves and never lane verse her. Or get tier 2 boots like CDR boots just so you're fast enough to dodge her initial Qs, so you don't get poisoned and you don't get run down the lane, and then your flash would be on a lower cooldown. Those are really your only 2 options right now. You're not doing either of those. You're so far behind, you still don't have your upgrade, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure you're on the first one, so. But this is just a terrible spot to be in this lane. So here's kind of a big problem I have right now with your decision making in the next minute and a half. So Cassiopeia got really fed this game, and it wasn't entirely off of your dead body that she got fed, but you had distinct opportunities to help your team not feed her. And this is going to come up right here, and this pretty much will be one of the last things we cover. So I think this is where it is. So you pushed her in. You pushed her in. Cool beans.
Red team double kill.
You see your jungler double kill their bot lane. So, and you see their top laner diving me. So you know right now on the map there's only 3 people. You see 2 of them. Brahm's walking down, your jungler just killed 2 people, and you just pushed the wave in. This is your opportunity to get wards out. Most likely, since he just killed 2 people, this is the safest part of the map to get wards on. What do you do instead? You just walk here, you walk here. So by the time you get here, if you just walked over here, you could have gotten a ward in this brush. You could have been standing right here if that's what you were going to do. And then that could have been the wall side of your map, where this is your safe spot where you can avoid ganks. Just like in top lane, you have that top lane wall. Now this would be your wall. But you walk all the way over here. You know she's at her turret. You could have been here already, which means you would have been warding this when he's here. You would have saw the Rengar ult. You would have saw that mid is still over here. She's probably like right here right now, and you're here if you just moved bot. So that means by the time Yi gets jumped on, you would have been here. You would have saw Yi was getting ulted. You could have dropped a gravity field. You could have dropped ult on Rengar in a 3v1 at this point. You could have saved You could have saved Yi. You could have killed Rengar. And then by the time this Cassiopeia gets here, Rengar would have already been dead. And she either would have committed to it, and you 3 would have killed her, or she would have just run back mid. But you went from here to here to here and back to the lane when your jungler was getting vision down here, double killing their bot lane, and getting ulted by Rengar. If you had just walked down here just to get vision, and just happened to be in the right place at the right time, you would have killed this guy. And then you probably would have killed the mid, but instead, Cassiopeia gets there first because she's actually watching the map, unlike you. She gets 2 kills. For free. For no reason, she gets 2 kills. Purely because you're just still sitting mid. And I'm pretty sure at this point of the game, you were just like, oh wow, that really sucks. But that was 100% on you. So when you look at this game and you see your movements and what you just did, you had everything in your power. It was 100% in your hands. You could have made that play right there an easy 2 for nothing. You could have killed Cass. You could have definitely killed Rengar. And it would have been a 2 for 0. It would have given you assists, kills, and pressure in the lane because you would have been able to sit here and push up. And they wouldn't have gotten Dragon. But you were just kind of sitting in the lane. You weren't really thinking or doing anything. So now you know you fucked up. That, you know, they're probably just getting Dragon now. And instead of pushing another wave mid, you know Rengar doesn't have ult. You have vision here, so he can't really flank you. Instead of pushing this up and at least making Cass get denied a little bit more CS for roaming before you and taking Dragon, instead of trying to put her further behind, you go farm Wraiths. So you're pretty much saying, hey jungler, I know I just fucked you over and I didn't help you and I easily could have saved you, but I'm gonna go try to farm your jungle right now. And then you don't even end up doing them, and then you decide that the right decision is to push it up. But by then that's already too late. You didn't deny her anything. You could have gotten that whole wave into the turret. She comes back, she gets 3 CS that she was gonna get anyway. So she gets at least the XP for them. But yeah, that's just like that was a pivotal moment where you as a mid laner could have controlled something going on. You could have made a play. but instead you just sat mid. You know, you saw what was happening on the map, and instead of reacting to it, you just sat in your lane. Your lane reacts to it and gets a double kill. And I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, all of Cass's lead, that was like the pivotal point for you to get back into the game. Yeah. And you know, you just didn't do anything. And we're still 10 minutes in. I honestly don't remember ever seeing you Q. One of your best trading tools as Viktor is the fact that you get a shield from your Q and you essentially get an instant Thunderlord's proc. I don't remember you ever queuing her. So luckily you back here, I guess for your upgrade. Luckily their jungler's top and we get the easy double kill. But yeah, so you don't have a lot of pressure here. She pushes in, that's no big deal. You finally get your upgrade, so you're in an okay spot now. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. So we don't know where she went. She actually got really deep vision. This was it was okay because she knows you're weaker and can't fight her 1v1, and she sees both of us top. So she did the smart thing and she got vision because she looked at where the map is. She looked at where people were and made a decision to put a ward here so she'll have better decisions later. That's something that you should probably do more when you know people are dead or you see everybody on the map. Try to get better vision. So you have 2 wards right now. You have no idea where she is. She 100% should kill you right here. I'm not sure why she didn't. But you die to this or blow your flash instantly every single time if she just puts the W down and ults you. But she just doesn't for whatever reason. But either way, this lane is so far over, but you had distinct opportunities to come back into this lane, and you missed a lot of them. You know, you still got vision on this side. They haven't even bothered to do anything with this brush. Like, they haven't done anything. So now you see Rengar. You see him looping around. That's where you just kind of like, okay, you see him, so you actually don't need to be this afraid as you were. Her flash still isn't up. You don't know that though, so it's really close to being up. We kill her, well, we kill him, and yeah, I mean this game's pretty much over at this point. You guys kind of FS'd a lot sooner than I thought you were going to, because I think I could have carried this game. But as you see, there were just a lot of pivotal mistakes you made during the laning phase. You never queued her. I don't remember seeing you queue her a single time this entire laning phase. I really don't. I mean, we can watch it times 8. We're gonna watch. See, you queued a minion. Queued a minion. I mean, we're gonna go almost the entire game, and you've never once gotten a Thunderlord's proc on your lane because you never once queued her. You never did it. Just never did it. You know, just never traded with her properly. And I know you're afraid of her, but when she uses cooldowns or she misses a Q, that's your point in the lane where you have to trade back. If somebody misses abilities and then still tries to trade with you, you have to trade with them. Or if somebody hits you with abilities, you can't just take free damage. You can't just take free damage and be like, oh, I'm gonna run now. Because then that's when you get into situations where you're at half health, they're still at full health because you never traded with them. You never hit them with an ability. You never traded back when they fought you. So that's how they get such a massive lead, and they're just able to continually pressure and kill you because you never trade back. This entire game, I mean, we're still watching, we're 9 minutes in, and you've only ever hit her with E. You've never hit her with a Q. You've hit minions with Q. You've never hit her with a Q. And that's a pretty... It's one of your best trading tools in the game, and you've never... Even there, you didn't Q her. Like, even when she all-in you. So, that's just something you gotta be more aware of, that you need to Q people not Q people more. You need to use everything at your disposal that makes you strong to trade with somebody properly. But a lot of points in that game, you just kind of allowed things to happen with no repercussions. And certainly, I think that game was 100% in your hands. You had moments where you could have came back and you could have carried, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, you were kind of stuck in your own zone and you didn't make the right decisions. But definitely, I think there were a couple moments in that game where you 100% could have gotten us back into the game by just helping your team out and being in the right place at the right time. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and you guys were both not having a good game, so you guys kind of just like FS'd at 26 minutes after we lost a team fight. So, um, but yeah, definitely a lot you could have done better there, and I'm sure the next time you have that matchup, you'll do things better, and hopefully you'll take into consideration the things that I pointed out that she made a mistake on, because there was many times that laning phase where she could have killed you 1 or 2 minutes earlier, and for whatever reason she just didn't. I'm not sure if she was just really not confident in her damage, but she could have killed you so much earlier, and at multiple times during the laning phase. She could have gotten your flash or killed you, which eventually happened, but she could have done them earlier. And I think it's really important to be able to evaluate why you were in that position and what you could have done better. And certainly your trading and the way you used abilities early on in the lane, or the fact that you never used your Q on her ever, so rather the way you didn't use abilities, is a big thing to work on. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, buddy. I think those were a few things that kind of should make sense. I think the concept of keeping one side of mid lane protected with vision and pretending like that's your top lane wall may translate pretty good for you, since you normally do play top lane. But that's the way you should really think about it. If your jungler's on one side and you also have vision on that side, that's your safe spot. That should be your wall of top lane, where you know either the left or the right side. I can't be ganked from that side, so that's the side I want to stay near. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that helps, buddy. Thanks